is Valley News Live at 4.
Good afternoon and happy Friday, everyone. Here's a look at today's top 4 at 4. Fargo police are asking you to keep an eye out for this car. They say a suspect in the Arbors shooting may be traveling in it. It's described as a 2009 Hyundai Sonata with North Dakota plates 091DHL. Oliver Ty has been charged with attempted murder along with other crimes in connection to the shooting. Police are still looking for him. If you see him or the car, call police. An 18-year-old is facing charges after distracted driving and crashing in South Fargo last night. Witnesses told police that Noah Jamison was speeding down 13th Avenue when he crossed into the westbound lanes to pass another vehicle. His car hit a snowbank and became airborne. The car came to rest on its roof after hitting a tree. Jamison had to be extracted. He was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Police say he wasn't drunk, but he reportedly admitted to driving distracted. He could be facing charges for reckless endangerment and distracted driving. A judge refused to reduce the prison sentence for a West Fargo man who pleaded guilty in the DUI crash that killed a friend. Daniel Dalpazzo argued that a reduced sentence was in the interest of justice and the well-being of his family. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison for the June 2019 death of Johnny Gray, a well-known hairstylist in Fargo. Experts from the CDC met today to discuss the latest on COVID-19 developments. Health officials discussed the latest on vaccines, variants, and masking. The agency's deputy director for infectious diseases emphasized the importance of getting vaccinated in order to control the spread of the virus. The experts also weighed in on the recent news from Johnson & Johnson on data from a late-stage trial. Now here's a first look at our weather with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Hutch.
Stacey, thanks so much. We have some slippery conditions developing up and down the valley. Even here in places in the FM area, there's solid ice on area roads thanks to surface temperatures that are cold and just some downright foggy and soggy conditions. Here's a look at the road conditions, and anywhere you see on this map there's some color, from the Devil's Lake Basin where we have frosty roads down through Carrington, Fessenden, New Rockford and into southeast North Dakota. Some icy conditions do exist, so please use caution out there. And conditions are not horrible, but look at this. We do have a winter weather advisory posted for areas along and south of Highway 200 essentially for freezing drizzle. Now this is going to be likely to develop an increase in aerial coverage as we go through the overnight hours. This is where it'll be most likely, but there could be a little bit of that nonsense going on up north. The radar's not overly impressive. We had a few snow showers out there. Look at the wind down near Sisseton, and there's some low clouds and fog as well. So fog, freezing drizzle, and slippery conditions tonight. Take it easy, please. Roads will be passable, but you want to stay off things like the cruise control. Stacey, I'll have details on your hour-by-hour weekend forecast. We are going to have some accumulating snow on top of the ice, and we'll look ahead to next week's system as well in a few minutes.
Oh boy, yeah, there's some sneaky slick spots out there today.
It is. It's pretty slippery.
All right, thanks, Hutch. More spectators will be allowed at school events in Fargo and West Fargo. Fargo Public Schools are bringing back the tradition of buying tickets at the door. The high school's main gyms will have a capacity between 900 and 1,500 people. The Shields Arena will hold a little more than 3,700. West Fargo Public Schools are also doing away with their voucher system. The capacity for events in high school gyms will be raised to 1,000. The Holbert Aquatic Center and West Fargo Sports Arena are also upping their capacities. Masks will still be required for all spectators in both cities. Police are investigating after someone apparently shot a horse in Otter Tail County. A horse owner called the sheriff's office saying one of his horses had been shot. Deputies found the animal in a pasture with what appeared to be a single gunshot wound. Anyone with information is urged to contact the sheriff's office. Shoplifters are at it again at a downtown Fargo business, this time stealing at least $50 worth of goods from local makers. The owners of Unglued tell Valley News Live 2 people walked in yesterday and bought some items, but surveillance video shows a woman stuffing more items into her jacket.
When it's a small business and they directly took from 5 local makers, like directly from Fargo at least. And so it's just really frustrating, and you want to find a way to prevent it from happening ever again, and to at least get the things back.
The owner reported it to police and noted in 2020 the store has had the most shoplifting ever. Johnson & Johnson's one-dose drug could be a game changer. Experts say the vaccine could be approved by the FDA within a month. The company's vaccine provides strong protection, but not as much as the 2-dose Moderna and Pfizer shots. The head of research and development for Johnson & Johnson defends the drug's efficacy, saying it'll save lives.
It either stops you from getting COVID or It helps you, if you get COVID, have a much milder version of COVID, and it's completely preventing the things that are most scary, which are going to a hospital or worse.
But will Americans want a vaccine that's seemingly less effective? And who determines which shot you get? We took your coronavirus vaccine questions to Sanford Health. Tonight on Valley News Live at 5, we'll have answers. President Joe Biden is encouraged by the new data on the potential vaccine. A White House press secretary says the Johnson & Johnson vaccine still needs to go through the regulatory process, while calling on Congress to pass a COVID relief package to help Americans who are struggling and to get more children back in schools safely.
Our view is that this bill should be bipartisan. 74% of the public support it, and we want to work with Republicans on fighting COVID and putting the American people back to work.
Officials say the president is also focused on reopening all schools safely with the guidance of his health and medical experts. The new strain of the coronavirus in the U.S. could be partially resistant to existing vaccines. 2 people in South Carolina have tested positive for the variant, which was first discovered in South Africa. That makes 29 states where new strains of the virus have been detected. Mola Lanky reports from New York.
The need to vaccinate as many Americans as possible is more urgent than ever as the variant of COVID-19 first identified in South Africa has now been found in the U.S. It was detected in 2 people from South Carolina, from separate parts of the state.
There is no known travel history, and there is no known connection between the 2 cases.
With highly contagious variants reported in at least 28 other states, officials should think carefully before relaxing COVID restrictions, warns Dr. Ashish Jha.
By mid to late March, these variants will be quite common and dominant in the United States. We could see huge spikes in cases, large spikes in hospitalizations and deaths.
And the slow vaccination process could make things worse.
The longer we take, the more there are going to be opportunities for variants that could become even more dangerous, more lethal, more contagious, or just escape our vaccines altogether.
So far, the currently authorized slate of vaccines remain effective on all known strains, though preliminary findings suggest they may offer reduced protection against the variant originally detected in South Africa. But the work to understand these new strains and their interactions with existing treatments is well underway. Earlier this month, we visited Dr. Dan Baruch, the director of the Center for Virology and Vaccine Research in Boston.
If the vaccine is not as effective on the new variant, what then?
Well, fortunately, the first 2 vaccines that we have here in the United States have proven to be highly, highly effective. In the worst case scenario, then vaccines might need to be updated.
And companies have already started working on those updates. Both Moderna and Pfizer have started developing booster shots for the South African variant of the virus. Mola Lengi, CBS News, Queens, New York.
If you're looking to stay on top of the latest vaccine information, get our new VNL vaccine tracker. You can access national and local resources in just 2 easy steps. Open your phone camera and point it at the QR code on your screen, then tap the link that pops up. Coming up on Valley News Live at 4, how an online forum is causing some major shakeups on Wall Street.
Temperatures not so bad across the valley. We do have some freezing drizzle around the area, and we do have a winter weather advisory for some icy conditions in the southern valley. Your forecast is coming up. Join me next.